Hey everyone. So we have talked about Amit, the future of e-commerce and what role conversational commerce is going to play in that future. The second component comes out to be headless commerce tech. Now, first of all, I want to understand from you what do you exactly mean when somebody say headless commerce tech?
Yeah, so headless in the parlance of this technology world just means that there is no UI, there's no user experience attached to the body of the beast. You know, the head
Okay.
is not there.
Okay.
It's headless,
Okay.
right? Only the
Okay.
body is there. So the head is the face you look at and you talk to and you know. So in the conversational piece we discussed, the back end would just be a service.
Yeah.
Right? It just takes an order, for example. It's a very abstract thing. It doesn't have a UI because it is the abstract nature of the functionality.
Yeah.
And it can be done through various means, you know, channels, like we said last time.
Yeah.
So each channel is an experiential way to do something, right? It could be on Snapchat, it could be in the physical store, it could be, you know, in the metaverse, whatever. So these then become the UX layers, and specific experiences and digital widgets and whatever you build, apps and websites, and that are the specific nature of the head, the face.
Okay. Okay.
Right? So headless. So you don't have a head means headless. So it's just the body of it, which is, you know, in this case, the brains actually, not the face of it.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it's a little bit more,
Yeah. So all the functionalities, all the, like what tech is supposed to do, it's doing without the user experience. And the user experience can be accustomed to whatever interface or whatever platform that
That's
that
right.
one
So in
is
order
using.
to build a multi-channel experience, you need a headless technology layer that can service all the various faces and heads, multi-headed dragon that you want to build as your business.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that totally makes sense, because with so many channels, and if someone wants to be omni-channel, this is something that is of essence. It has to be there in the technology, like in the tech layer, so that they can be present at multiple channels, can do various things. Uh, is this tech? Is this tech some different from what has been done so far, or is just like the removal of user interface and the rest of the things remains the same?
There's nothing new about headless, you know, commerce. There's nothing new about headless at all. It just means API, right? If an API exists, then it's headless. You have to build the UX layer by calling those APIs and providing that digital experience to the customer. So the customer experience layer is bolted on top of a headless system, snapped onto a headless platform. If you don't have a headless platform, for example, you have a website that's built the old way, not in a headless manner. It means that you don't have a back-end headless system that's taking orders, for example, and a front-end website that snaps onto it. You just have a website that's a monolithic, you know, single thing, let's say, right? And you're running a business. Then somebody says, hey, why don't you launch an app, right?
Then it will be a whole
that's a
thing
whole
for
new
them.
thing, right? Like for them, it's like you can't. And if the guys or the person running it, the guy or gal running it is not technically savvy, they'd be very confused as to why they already have the full thing. What is the problem? Right? You're already taking all the orders on the website. Why can't you take on the app? Why is that so complicated? Right? So this is the gap. This is the digital divide, right? Not being able to think in terms of technology abstractions and platforms and, you know, layers and things like that. And not that everybody should, but technology is such that it hasn't fully been thought through. So much legacy exists out there. So if you're not using a modern inter-network, protocols-driven platform, then you are going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Because every time you want to add a channel, or every time you want to do something new, you have to start from scratch and like make everything bottoms up.
And then bolt it on back to your original system. So now you've got two systems otherwise, right? So then that becomes, tomorrow there is blockchain. People say, hey, there's Ethereum. Now you got to be in Ethereum universe. Then there is something called decentral land, metaverses, Facebook is launching, everyone's launching. You want to be in AR, extended reality. You have to be in all the places. What are you going to do? Each time keep on building again and again and then have an integration nightmare? It's crazy. That's not how you build digital. Like, it's like trying to build a house, just like randomly bolting on other houses to it. That's not how you build a building, right? You don't build a building by bolting on houses. You build it by building a building. You design a building.
That totally makes sense. That this headless tech is something which will enable you to be present at all the places. And like, technology is supposed to be to bring in more efficiency. If you do it like this, you're just becoming more inefficient instead of being more efficient and doing things more like fast and robust.
Yes. So, the simple thing is you shouldn't have to repeat yourself. Right? Don't repeat yourself is a very good mantra for this. What it means is, if you're already doing something once, just reuse that. But you have to be very clear that you're going to reuse and not repeat yourself, not duplicate it. Because the minute you duplicate something, now you've got two places where you got to make changes and integrate two things. But you have only one business. So why not run it from the top all the way down to the last leaf, right? In one single cohesive manner. Why not just build it how you would build a building? You already know you're going to have many rooms. Why not, design that? Aren't you going to have many rooms? I mean, why do we just start to, like, not think for a second? And Lego blocks is a good analogy, right? Lego blocks is a simple way to think about components which can then be snapped together and so on.
This is why what we have been talking about, decentralization, like taking things in a decentralized way so that you can plug and play whenever that functionality is needed. It's all like headless commerce tech is a child of decentralization, if I may put it that way.
I would say that you can build a centralized headless system. Right? Like Facebook backend, for example, is a single centralized universe, or any of the large companies and platforms are single centralized APIs, So it's not directly connected. However, functional decomposition, when you define your, business and your, technology and all that, is a very good way to think through the, as it turns out, also the decentralization part of it. Because once you functionally decompose something, that something can be inside or outside, it doesn't matter, right? That is defined by the service boundary, right? Where you define your organization's boundary, right? But it's a function regardless, and your org needs it. So whether you put it inside or outside, or you make it a function for everybody else, that's a choice that you can now make. Right? Because you're thinking clearly in terms of functions, what has to be done, not how will it get done, and then you're in a nightmarish situation of like trying to back out of it.
So this is like theoretically what decentralization should do, like defining functionalities and like putting them apart is what I was going towards when I said that.
Decomposition, yes. Decomposition, right? Decentralization is another aspect of decomposition, which decides whether something will be inside your org or outside your boundary of your whatever it is you're doing, right? So it's two aspects. They're both important, I think, right? And I do agree that they both lead to headless systems in any case, because the minute you think in terms of functions, you're already in headless territory.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Thanks, Amit. Thanks so much for the clarification on different terms and how they are being used. And it's going to be very useful for future entrepreneurs or even existing businesses on how to proceed when a new technology comes. There is always a race to change yourself, change your business, change your things. And if we think in this way, it will be easier to adapt to upcoming trends and things.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we think in terms of, future ready. right?
Yeah.
Because the business is still the business, and it should continue to drive the business, not technology driving the business.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
So, cool. Thank you.
Thanks.